Practice test 1, section 4, number 20. Now with word problems, it's really important to track down our values and variables as we read, so that way we don't lose track of any of them by the time we finish reading the problem. So let's get started. It says here that Alma bought a laptop computer at a store that gave a 20% discount off its original price. So right away we have 20% being our first value. Now an important part about this is that it was a discount, which means we're going to subtract that discount from our original price. Now you might be asking, what is our original price? There is no value or variable given for it, so what I'm going to do here is actually assign a value and just call it x. We know that x here is our original price. Continuing on, it says that the total amount she paid to the cashier was $P. So here we have another variable, $P, which included an 8% sales tax on the discounted price. 8% sales tax here is going to be added to our discounted price. So I'm going to jot that up here. And just to make this color coding a little bit more accurate, we're going to go $P in green. The question says, which of the following represents the original price of the computer in terms of P? So this phrase, in terms of, comes up pretty often on the SAT. And so we're going to discuss, what does this mean and how can we kind of translate it into a symbol that we can use in a mathematical formula? So the first part of today's math stack is actually going to be the idea of percentages. So you think back to middle school or maybe early high school when you first learned about percentages. The idea is that a percentage means out of 100. And so in order to convert a percent into an operable decimal, what we do is multiply the percent number x by 0.01. Apologize, 0.01. So right here I'm going to convert 20%. Actually, I'm not going to do negative 20%, just 20% first. And that will equal 0.01 times 20, which is 0.20. Now, what happened to the negative sign, right? Because this was a 20% discount. What we want to think about here is that it is a 20% off of the original price, which was 100% of the original price. So when we do a discount or a tax, when we add or subtract percentages, we want to keep in mind that it is truly always out of 100. So a 20% discount off of 100% would leave 80% of the original price. And again, converting it into a decimal gives us 0.8. Following a similar method with the tax, we know that the 8% tax is being added to 100% of the discounted price. So that gives us 108%, which again, if you multiply by 0.01, that would give us 1.08. So now we've successfully changed both of our percentages into decimals so that we can use them in an equation. Now, how do we structure this equation? The second part of our math stack today is the definition of in terms of. In terms of comes up on the SAT in word problems and also in difficult algebra problems where you have to isolate certain variables. For our intents and purposes, we're going to interpret in terms of as an equal sign. So if we go back to the final question of the test, it says, which of the following represents the original price, which we understand to be x, of the computer in terms of, which we now understand to mean an equal sign. Lastly, in terms of P, and that which is designated as P. So this is the basic skeletal structure of our equation or formula. What we need to now do is plug in the two percentages or decimals so that we can isolate x and find that in terms of P. So going back to our percentages, how was the original price affected? Well, first there was a 20% discount. So that we're going to apply here by multiplying by 0.8. And then there was also an 8% sales tax. So we'll add that into the beginning as well as 1.08. And understand that all this is being multiplied because percentages are not additive. And then because they want the original price in terms of P, we have to isolate the original price. So what we'll be doing is dividing, which is answer choice